So I started actually doing anything with music and performing arts back when I was 3. I come from another country, so I come from Guatemala. And in my time in Guatemala, I used to live in Guatemala City, which is the capital. And I got to perform in the National Theater of Guatemala when I was around 4. So I've been doing it for a while. Guitar, I've been doing for now 6 years, and 4 performing in gigs here in Peoria, Champaign, and Chicago. I've done many styles, anything you can think of really, which I mean, I've gone from jazz to heavy metal, from everything. I just really like music and performing in general. I've had a lot of inspiration throughout my life, but how it really started is probably my family. So my great-grandfather, he used to live in a town in Guatemala called Jalapa. And apparently, I was told when I was young that he was like the best guitarist in that little town. Yes, I do write my own music. I've been practicing poetry to get better at lyrics and being a better lyricist. What really like inspires me to write my own music is just everything that happens around me. So it all has a story. If I have a lyric, right, that's one part of the process. Then I have to make an instrumental. Then after that, I have to record everything, and then I have to perform it, right? I can't do just one process and then leave the rest to just happen naturally. It has to be a planned out thing, though it does happen sometimes where naturally the song creates itself. It's a lot of planning, a lot of processing, a lot of practicing all over and over and over again. So yeah, it's been hard, but hey, and I've gotten better at it, and with my experience with the guitar and everything, it's been getting easier. Also, everyone has their own writing process, but for me, as I've said, it really comes. Sometimes it comes with one part of the process or the other. Usually, I like to start with some simple chords and see where I can go from that. Usually, I start with again 3 or 4 chords. And I'm not trying to bore you guys with any of the musical stuff, but with simple just 1, 3, 5. And then from there, try to do, build on into it. So, yeah, just little by little. The reason I was in the band originally is because I was because of the people who were in that. When you're with someone else, and it could be a duo, group, or anything, if you ever had a conversation with a friend or with another friend, you build off that conversation, right? Someone comes up with an idea, someone else, reacts to that, and it just keeps on building and building and building. And sometimes it, strays off from the point. Kind of like that with music writing. You have someone comes up with an idea of like a little riff, and then someone else can come add something to it, and then it's kind of like Legos, if you can imagine it, just building little by little until you have a finished product. Now alone, you kind of have to do that with yourself. You have to, think of something first, and then you're like, okay, then you have to think for a minute, see what you can add on. And then it's the same thing, but it's less of having someone else's process come with yours and have a mixture of both. It's just yourself, just creating with yourself. Because I also make guitars. That's something else that I do. Okay. Not acoustic. These take a long time to make, but I make electric. But yeah, I kind of made this look a little bit better, and I've done some modifications to it, like inside or some of the pieces and the strings. The Ironman performance that I did recently, on stage I played a guitar that I made. It's a white S-style guitar or Stratocaster that on the headstock has my name on it, signed. That's awesome. I made it, usually it takes me around 6 months to make a guitar, just because I'm doing it all by hand with my grandfather. So I'm named after him, Victor. His name is Victor as well. He does carpeting, and he's really good at it. And he taught me a lot, how to work with woods, how to paint them, and how to preserve them. So I learned from him. But specifically making guitars, it was just coming from love for me, liking my guitars. I remember my first electric guitar got ruined. Like the electronics inside, so I had to, I didn't have money to buy a new one, so I had to learn it myself. So I went on YouTube, I looked up how to fix the components, the electric components at the time that I didn't know what they were called. So I played You Really Got Me by Van Halen, played by Eddie Van Halen. The reason I chose that is I looked and I heard from other people what the other performances were going to be, and everyone else was also playing guitar and singing or just singing. So what I wanted to do is something different. I wanted to do something that could get everyone excited, something that people thought was not like nothing they could have just seen someone do. So I thought, what are the hardest songs that I know? And that was one. So I've practiced that song many times. So for me, it was just, really easy for me to do.
Same.
I was told that when I get up there, you could just see how comfortable I am being up there. How it doesn't seem like I'm scared at all. Though sometimes I would get super nervous, and depending on how many people and everything. Though I have performed in front of hundreds of people, not thousands or anything, but just like a few hundred. I've never really shown that. I always try to have the most fun when I'm up on stage, and people really like that. One of the things that I do the most is I judge myself too much. I critique myself a lot. Though people think of it, some people might find it good for me. I've seen how it has affected me, especially in the writing process, as we said. Alone, I would find myself scrapping a lot of songs. I would be halfway done, or not even starting with it. I would only have the instrumental or some of the lyrics, and I would just think they were already bad enough. One of the biggest inspirations for me, I don't know if you guys have heard of him, Jeff Buckley. Tim Buckley's son. He's if you go on TikTok, you'll probably find one of his songs that got really popular. But I've known about him for a while. He was a great musician, but right before my time, of course. But amazing. His album Grace is one of my favorites, just in general of all time. Amazing. Elliott Smith is another one. Really good lyrics. A little bit more slower, and just honestly more into the heart. And then probably if we're talking bands, I like Arctic Monkeys. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one. The Strokes. Coldplay. Really like Coldplay. And it's a Spanish band called Jarabe de Palo. Yeah, it's a Spanish rock, and the main guy, his name is Pau Dones, is my dad's favorite artist, and my mom's. So,
Nice.
yeah. The best way, if you want to create a good song, if you want to create a song that will reach people's hearts, you first have to find it inside your own heart. You have to find that emotion.